I'd rather walk alone when I'm right than be with many people when I'm wrong. We have seen it before. So, the DP proposal, it is not too late to do it. But let me just add, even if we fail to agree on one candidate, any vote which is not for Museveni is a good vote. There are those who talk as if you vote for Mao, it will be counted that it is for Museveni. How can that even be logical? That is the most nonsensical thing. Any vote which is not for Museveni at the presidential level is a good vote. So nobody should stress over it. Because in Uganda, you must have 50% to win. But at parliament level, if those who want change divide their votes, the NRM will just win with 25%, which is the thing I'm fearing in Kampala here. Because you have very many independents. You look at Nakawa. NRM has their Muruhindi. DP has got Kakande, who is strong. FDC has got Kabaziguruka, who is also strong. Now, SDP has got the mayor, the incumbent mayor, Balimwezo. And People Power has got Senyonyi. Now, Ruhindi only needs a few votes to be ahead. So, how will we uproot Museveni if we are only thinking of one position of the president? Which in my view is not the, actually in terms of casting votes, is not the biggest challenge. Because as long as you avoid the bus on the presidential ballot, that's a good thing. Because it looks like people are obsessed. They think that for those who support Mao, think that if you don't vote Mao, then you have voted for Museveni. Those who support Chagulanyi think if you don't vote Chagulanyi, then you have supported Museveni. The same applies to those who support FDC. They think if you don't vote for the FDC candidate, then you have voted for Museveni. But any vote which is not for Museveni is a vote for change, as far as I'm concerned. And it is logical. You can prove it. I have built for you scenarios. The best scenario would be where the top leaders of the parties, having been put under pressure by their members, go for a retreat. And let me reveal it here. We have proposed that the top leaders go for a retreat. Because those who need to agree are not even more than 5. By the way, seriously talking. The stubborn people who are refusing to agree are not more than 5. You can count them on one finger. Forget about the people raising red flags, green flags, and so on. Once we agree, we will agree on one candidate. We did it in Amuro. There was an empty seat for woman MP of Amuro. DP had a candidate. FDC had a candidate. UPC had a candidate. So we went to Gulu, myself, General Muntu, and Olaro Tunu as party leaders. And we sat down and called the candidates and asked them to see whether they could agree as the candidates. They failed to agree. We asked them, will you abide by a decision we make, we the 3, provided we have agreed? They said yes. So we called a meeting at a place called Pabo, which is on the road to Juba. We gathered 300 people. But those 300 people were not the ones to decide. By the way, not everybody is qualified to make a difficult decision. Just like in hospital, you don't invite the entire hospital staff to decide whether they should open your brain to remove a clot. It is those who are qualified who sit and decide. So we told the crowd of 300 that we are now going to a meeting of presidents with the candidates. We shall come back after you have had lunch to announce to you our decision and tell you how to support the decision. So we went. We again told the candidates to agree. They failed. The 3 of us started discussing the merits of the candidates based on 2 aspects. The first is, we call it electability. how electable are you? Because to have power, you must be elected. So electability is very important. Can you mobilize people to vote for you? Then number two, capability. Now, in the case of Uganda, we don't have to choose either or, because we are going to have a top team, which we even call the Pentagon. One presidential candidate and top leaders from each region to support the joint candidate. So among the 5 in the Pentagon, you will have the qualities of capability and electability, which is not a problem. In my mind, I'm very clear what we need to do. I'm glad no one will ever blame me for the lack of unity, because I have been the most flexible. So eventually we chose the FDC candidate. Actually, I'm the one who proposed. I said, based on me, who knows this area, because I know the Gulu Amuro area better than Besigye Muntu, better than Olaro Tuno. The FDC candidate had been working in the Archdiocese of Gulu. She had moved all around the constituency. She comes from the largest community, the Lamogi community, in terms of population, and a few other factors. So I proposed. That lady is Lucy Akello. She is in Parliament up to now. And I was at the forefront of her campaign. So that is how we did a model of unity. And that is the model that we need even in Nakawa. But do you think that the top leaders can even sit to talk about Nakawa? Do you think that Norbert Mao, Kyagulanyi, Amuriat, and the president of SDP, Mavike, can sit and say, for the sake of winning against NRM, can we agree on one? It looks like everybody is too obsessed with their own candidate. But in this case, we want to put the whole map of Uganda, so that where I lose Nakawa, I can balance it in another constituency. That is how we want to do it. DP is not confused about how unity can be done. But others want to start unity the way they used to elect the leadership of the Old Boys Association of Mwiri. I understand when they would go for elections, the late Luli Zakironda, minister and secretary of UPC, would get a piece of chalk and write on the blackboard, Dr. A. Milton Obote, patron. Dr. Luli Zakironda, chairman. Then he says, now nominations are open for the other positions. So this seems to be the way that my colleagues want to build unity. So when I call people for coalition building, so I call Honorable Kyagulanyi, I call Honorable Dr. Besigye, I call Besigye Muntu, I call Asuman, I call Akena, I call Amuriat, then I put and say, Norbert Mao, presidential flag bearer. Then I say, now, katutese kubidala. How can you build unity like that? It is not possible. That is the mistake everybody is making. As Norbert Mao, I think that one it defeats the whole purpose. It cannot work. It's either me or me. Then how can you build a coalition? And unfortunately, in the case of many of those who want to go to parliament, they now would go to the people they prefer. So you find that if a DP prospective parliamentary candidate has agreed to support Kano Besigye, then he goes on radio and says, the problem with Mao, he does not want to unite with others. It is not about unity. All they want, by the way, all those who say Mao is a mole, Mao has been given 16 billion. If I stood here today and said, I am no longer contesting for president, I have backed so and so, I'll stop being a mole, I'll be the best leader they have ever seen. Immediately, they will be praising me, that this is the greatest leader. Why would they say that? Because finally, I'm not a problem to get them to go back to parliament. But I'm a man who sees far. I'm the second order of DP. And I'm telling Ugandans what I'm seeing. Even if through unity we would not defeat Museveni outright, but we would put a situation where we would pressure him, at least, so that we go into a power sharing agreement, if need be. Even those who talk about government of national unity, why would Museveni even talk about government of national unity? You must have leverage. In Venezuela, they had leverage because the opposition had close to 50% of the MPs. In Kenya, Raila Odinga had leverage. But here, you have less than 25% of the parliament. So what is your leverage?